Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm just going to make sure everybody is in okay from the waiting room. Welcome, whether still morning time, afternoon time. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to be chatting with all of you today.
I did.
I'm going to make sure everyone is muted here.
Yes, I did.
There we go. All right. All right, jumping back in here, we are going to be chatting all about meal prepping and learning to meal prep like a pro. I'm going to first off introduce myself here. So I see some familiar names, some new names. So if you don't know me, my name is Allison Tallman. I'm a registered dietitian and I'm the founder of Nourished Roots, which is a nutrition consulting company. So as I said, I'm a registered dietitian. I've been a dietitian for 7 years. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of individuals at this point, all across the nation, all across the world. I focus on real whole foods when it comes to nutrition, meaning I'm not about crazy supplements, juice cleanses, things like that. I'm all about incorporating all foods. I'm anti-diet, so my clients do not count calories. They do not count calories. They do not count macros. I'm all about balance and that all foods can fit, whether it's your favorite food like ice cream, whether it be pizza, eating out, whatever it is, all foods can fit. I'm about flexibility, so incorporating healthy eating habits, no matter what your routine is. If you're on a cruise, if you're traveling in Europe, if you have 3 kids, if you have 5 grandchildren, whatever it is, I'm all about incorporating flexible eating strategies. I'm all about seeing results for my clients. So my clients all have different goals, and therefore I find it to be so important to focus on specific nutrition plans, et cetera, that are tailored specifically to them so they can see the results that they want. Lastly, I am research backed. I am not about any BS here. I'm going to give you the real deal. I am a research backed dietitian. I was literally just looking up research articles right before this because I want my clients to stop wasting time, money, and energy on things that won't work for them. I want my clients to really, working with me, be the last investment that they make in their health. So I help individuals to feel less confused about what to eat and how much to eat. I help them to gain clarity in a nutrition plan just for them. I help them to feel less confused and stressed out and overwhelmed when it comes to healthy eating, because I know there's a lot of misinformation out there. If anyone else is on social media here, on Instagram, on TikTok, et cetera, I know that you have seen a lot of the things that are out there. I also help clients to look and feel their best. That's ultimately what a lot of us want. We want to feel good each day. We want to feel energized. And that's what I help my clients do. So before we get started here, I always like to start off by pointing out my website, because many of you want easy, simple recipes, and I have those for you. So if you head to my website, Nourished Roots, but it's spelled like routes, nourishedroutes.com, you head to the recipe section. There are tons of easy recipes that take no time to make. So just head right there. So I want to get us started and hear from you. So I have one simple question. Are you a salty or a sweet person? So put it in the chat box. Love to hear. Sweet, both. Salty, sweet, salty. Always a sweet person, recently salty. Sounds like we have people on both sides. Honestly, it looks kind of equal to me. Used to be salt, now sweet. Both depends on the day. I feel like I'm both a lot of the times as well. Sweet, savory, watch my salt. So we have people from both sides. It always is fun for me to ask people that to see where they're coming from. All right. So we are going to be chatting about 3 main things today: meal prepping, my top tips and tricks to make it easier, and recipes. Simple things, simple ideas and recommendations for you. I do recommend sticking around until the end because I have a special bonus to share with all of you. Plus, I will be taking questions. So if you do have any questions, then I'll be taking them via the chat box at the end of this. So stick around. Do not miss out on this. You won't want to miss out on it. So kicking us off with number one here, what is meal prepping? It's meal planning. And I think a lot of people think of it as creating these luxurious, beautiful meals that are in perfect Tupperwares. It's just meal planning. It's preparing whole meals ahead of time, components of meals ahead of time. And it's not just this pre-section meals that a lot of us think of. And I think you see people on Instagram and social media making these meals that are sectioned off, such as this, where they have, their main, then their side, and then whatever it is, kind of like a Lunchable in a way. It is not necessarily like this. It can be this, but it doesn't have to be. If this stresses you out, we're going to be talking about other strategies to make it really simple for you. But first off, let's chat about the benefits of meal prepping and why I recommend it. And one thing I will say is that meal prepping is not for everybody. If it's not for you, I recommend obviously paying attention to this, and maybe you're doing something that is not making it easier for you. My goal is to make it really simple and easy for my clients. But again, similar to cooking, it might not be for everybody. So I'll say that. But if you're open to trying it, there are many benefits. So those who meal prep, they consume more nourishing foods. They are more likely to reach their nutrition goals because of that. So whether your nutrition goals are losing weight, increasing muscle, decreasing body fat, more energy, whatever it is, you're more likely to reach those goals. It also can help you to save money and save time. And a huge reason for that is you're actually eating out less and you're wasting food less. You're not going to the store as often because you have a game plan in place. You're less stressed and less anxious because I'm sure, like many of my clients, you likely are feeling stressed or anxious when it comes to eating or eating habits. And that's very common. But when you have these strategies in place that are so simple, you're not going to feel stressed or anxious. It adds variety, so you're more likely to try new ingredients or maybe eat some different foods and not eat the same thing every night for dinner. And it also adds some flexibility into your routine. Maybe you normally skip the gym in the evening because you are worried about cooking, or you skip happy hour with your friends. So it adds a little more flexibility into your routine. So I'd love to hear from everybody here again. Do you currently meal prep? And if not, then put it in as well. So let's hear it in the chat box. No. Someone said yes. Sometimes. No, I'm retired. Yes. Just my smoothies, depends on the day. So it sounds like many of you are sometimes, or most of you. Used to when my kids were younger. Well, hopefully more of you after this will be able to have some strategies to either do it sometimes or most of the time. So we're going to get started now on where to even start out. When we say meal prepping, what should you be doing? So the first thing is create a plan. And what I mean by that is really thinking. And if you have like a journal, if you have like a notepad, I have sticky notes on my desk, thinking of like, what are you in the mood to eat this week? If you just came back from a beach vacation and you ate fried food like every day, you're likely not in the mood for like fried food, for example, or maybe you just got back from a trip to Italy, or you went to an Italian restaurant that week and you don't want pizza or pasta, for example. What are you in the mood for? What ingredients do you have on hand? Because that's going to save you money if you're going to use up the chicken in your fridge versus going to buy new protein. What foods are in season? Those are going to be cheaper. What meals do you need to prep for? Do you need to prep for lunches? Are you going out to lunch that week? Are you dinners, snacks? What do you have going on that week? Similar to that, like, do you have social plans? Are you going out of town on Friday? Will you create whole meals or meal components, which we will go into? And then look up food inspiration. So as you saw on my website, I have a ton of easy recipes, but find recipes that like excite you and will make you want to actually meal prep. So for seasonality, I do recommend, I feel like most individuals do know generally what foods are in season versus not, but there is a great website as a resource called Seasonal Food Guide. And here's the website itself. But what you can do is you can select what state you live in and what time of year and type of produce. And basically what it will do is filter and show you what foods are in season. So this was in Tennessee in late July that I pulled up. The reason why that this is beneficial, as I said, it can be cheaper to buy those foods. If you're a picky eater, then these foods will likely taste better. These foods will also be fresher. So they're likely to like last longer. So you don't have to go to the grocery store as often. So for example, if you buy apricots in late July in Tennessee, they're going to be fresh and they're going to last longer versus buying apricots now, likely not going to be as good. Second thing is make a grocery list. So you want to make a grocery list ahead of time, such as this person here, which reduces time at the store. So thinking of that, you're not going to be, if anyone here has been like me before, where you get into the store and you're just like, well, kind of paralyzed, where you're not sure what you even need. You go to the produce section, you go to the dairy section, then you go back to the produce and you're just like all over the place. This reduces that. You save money because you're not buying items you don't need. You're less likely to purchase those unnecessary items such as like potato chips or things that you don't necessarily need to make your meal. And then lastly, a pro tip is you can organize your list by section. And what I mean by that is something like this. So it doesn't have to be, this is something I give to my clients, but it doesn't have to be something as perfect as this. It can be you making a list, you know, on your binder or whatever, saying like produce at the top, meat, etc. But this way you're not going to the produce section and then back to like the frozen section and then saying, crap, I forgot my lemons that I needed. So this way you have everything like clean and organized, which will just save a ton of time. Next is prepare and cook. So there's different strategies available. This is where I think people get a little tripped up because they think that you need to create these huge different meals and really make like these picture perfect ones. So there's different strategies available. I recommend trying different ones. So batch cooking is when you cook up an entire batch of something and enjoy it throughout the week. Buffet style or meal components. This is actually one of my favorites for people who don't like eating the same thing over and over. Maybe you're a pickier eater and you like food a little more fresh, is when you prep and cook things like separately and then you combine them throughout the week. So maybe you cook up your protein, such as your chicken, and the chicken you're going to use on a salad one day, on a grain bowl the next day, and in tacos the next day. The next option is pre-portioned meals. This is when you make one recipe and portion it out. This is what people typically think of. And then the last one is called assembled raw ingredients. What I mean by this is you're going to prepare raw ingredients, such as like veggies, and they're ready to be cooked as needed. So what I mean by that is slicing bell pepper and your avocado and your tomato, etc., to have throughout the week. And then that way they're all ready to go for when you need to cook them. And one thing you can do to prepare is block off time on your calendar. This is something that has really been a game changer for a lot of my clients and keeping themselves accountable. Keeping it consistent can also help. So doing it, meal prepping the same day of the week or time of day can be very helpful. So whether you're doing it every Sunday evening, Monday, whatever it is, even like Monday morning before work, it's very, for people who enjoy cooking or don't mind cooking, it can actually be quite a like lethargic practice. Examples of some easy meal prep ideas. So stir fries, salads, slow cooker meals, soups, sheet pan meals, veggie protein bowls, and taco bowls are some of my favorites. So again, these are the ones that we went over. We went over batch cooking, meal components, Tupperware meals, and portion ingredients. And the struggles that I hear most often are easy recipes to meal prep, as well as just getting into a routine. Because a lot of times, I heard many of you say you sometimes meal prep, for example. A lot of times when we're not meal prepping often, it's just hard to get into a routine. And by getting into more of a routine and doing it consistently, as well as having a concrete plan in place, you can feel the way that these clients of mine do. So these are past clients of mine, one who said, I don't dread it like I used to. Allie helped me find recipes that are so easy to make and not stressful. Meal prepping has helped me to lose weight without counting calories. and I no longer stress or feel overwhelmed, because many of you are likely feeling one of these, which you're likely feeling stressed or overwhelmed about it, or maybe you dread it, for example. And stick around until the end to learn how this can be you. So we're going to go into a couple specific examples now. First one we're going to go into is about meal components. So as I mentioned previously when I introduced this, it's about creating all the ingredients separately and cooking them and then mixing and matching them throughout the week. So for example, if you look at this taco bowl, you look at the salad, you look at the egg breakfast bowl, these all use the same ingredients minus, maybe a protein source, such as like the egg on here, salad dressing, Mexican seasoning. So they use a little bit of seasonings essentially, but these are all using these same exact ingredients. So this is, again, perfect for people who don't like eating the same thing every day, who like fresh food, maybe you're picky eaters. Some examples for you of really easy Tupperware meals to make, and these are actually meals that I made myself. Took that photo. So sheet pan lemon, salmon and asparagus, skillet sweet potato and kale, peanut tofu or chicken stir fry. Those are some of my go-to ones that I will make and just throw into Tupperware and eat it the next day for lunch, dinner, etc. So one thing that can make it actually really easy, that's so simple that people don't think about, is the type of Tupperware you're using. And I do recommend using glass Tupperware. It is a little pricier. However, it lasts so much longer. You can see what's inside. It can be used easily in microwaves without getting into like whole BPA or like melting at all. And I don't know if anyone here has like used the same plastic Tupperware for like years on end, and it kind of like potentially gets like melted or, warped a little bit. It's not going to do that. It's also not going to alter the taste of the food. So my go-to meal prep options that I do quite frequently, I make overnight oats for breakfast. I make no-bake protein balls for snacks. I will put them in the freezer. I make veggie and protein bowls. That is for the kind of like the meal components, where I'll mix and match and just add a different protein source or add a different like dressing. And then lastly, a complex carb. So you don't have to create a full meal. If you're having trouble getting in a complex carb for dinner, for example, then I do recommend meal prepping one at the beginning of the week so you can use it throughout. So I have a busy work day. I don't necessarily want to spend 45 minutes cooking at night, and I don't want to spend 45 minutes cooking quinoa. So I'll make quinoa or brown rice at the beginning of the week and just mix and match it throughout, for example. So some tips for you: keep it simple. A lot of times we choose recipes that are like so exciting, but they take a lot of time and have a lot of ingredients. Keep it simple. Schedule ahead, like I mentioned. Like if you're someone who has a calendar like me, like put it on your calendar and keep yourself accountable. Get your roommate involved, get your spouse, your partner, whoever, your neighbor. Do things that are dependable. Like don't try a new cooking method, for example, that night. Make it fun. So like I said, get your partner involved, someone else involved. Experiment when you do have the time to make it a little more fun. So some ideas to make it fun: watch trashy TV, listen to a podcast, get your kids involved, choose foods or recipe you're excited to try. Another one that what some of my clients will do is they'll invite their like friend or a neighbor over, and they'll have like a wine night while they are cooking together. So they're catching up with a friend also while they're cooking. So you're both focused on your health, but you are also catching up and having some girl time as well. So some common questions that I get, one of them is, what day of the week should I meal prep? That is literally whenever you have the time and whenever is best for you. It depends on your schedule. For example, most of my clients work Monday through Friday overall. So for them, they might find it easy to meal prep on a Saturday or Sunday or Monday for the week ahead, versus some of my night shift nurse clients or my restaurant workers may have like different schedules. So it really depends what is going to work best for you. But it does not need to be Sunday or Monday. So one thing to note too is that snacks can be meal prepped. We've talked a lot about meals, but if you have a busy workday like me, like I always have snacks in my drawers, I'm ready to go because I know that I need to fuel and nourish my body. If any of you are going long periods of time in your workday without eating, you are not gonna be able to see results. You're not gonna be able to lose weight, lose body fat percentage, whatever your goals are. So snacks can really help you to prepare for that. So putting like hummus and whatever type of dipper ready, make some homemade popcorn, hard-boiled eggs, handful of nuts is another one. You could have a piece of fruit with peanut butter. So when you meal prep these, you have them ready to go. So instead of thinking, okay, I need a protein source, I'm going to have hard-boiled eggs. If I went down to hard-boiled eggs right now, that's going to take me a good amount of time. So I'm going to make sure that I have them already ready to go. And breakfast can be prepped too. So as I mentioned, overnight oats is one of my go-to. Make ahead breakfast bowls, quinoa breakfast bars. People don't think about the protein balls I mentioned. I know someone said they meal prep smoothies. So if anyone here is into smoothies, what I recommend doing is if you put out like 5 Tupperwares for the week, you can put your frozen fruit in each one. That way, when it comes time to actually making the smoothie, you literally just pour it into the blender and pour your liquid. So there's no guessing of like the ingredients or what you have to put into it. And it makes it very simple and straightforward. So you have less stress in the morning about what to eat. One thing that can make it really easy for you as well is having items that are shelf stable. So you don't have to go to the grocery store as often. These are also some of my favorite things that I always keep in my pantry. So for example, some great protein options are black beans, chickpeas, lentils, the canned tuna, peanut butter. Some really great carb options, healthy carbs are the whole grain noodles, brown rice, oats, quinoa. Coconut milk is just like very versatile to use in cooking. It can make a really great sauce and it's shelf stable. So I do recommend always having these because if you have one of these available, you can throw together a really quick, simple meal. And that is something that I teach my clients is how to spend less time stressing over what to cook and how to cook and what to put together and just being able to do it without second guessing. Another thing that people think about, especially if you're maybe a pickier eater, is how to keep food fresh because everyone wants to keep food fresh, but I do understand maybe a pickier eater, someone who doesn't like to eat chicken or veggies like 2 days later. You can wrap grains in damp paper towels to keep them fresh, store fruit in the fridge. Make sure you always check dates at the store. You don't want any bad food. Line your drawers with paper towel actually for moisture control. And one thing you can do is you can freeze fresh herbs. You can put them into like ice cube containers and freeze them so that you can use them when they're ready to go or when you're ready to cook. And ultimately, what you should think of for lunch or dinner for your meal prepping is how does your plate look like this? Or how can you get it to look like this? So when you're going back to these shelf-stable items, where can the pieces of the puzzle fit? And if you are confused on what this looks like for you, or even just seeing this overwhelms you, that's when I recommend scheduling a free discovery call with me, a consultation call, because I can help walk you through this. So you can do that via my website, by the way, but this is ultimately what you should focus on for your lunches and your dinners. So if you're wanting to have clarity and specific foods to eat for your goals, and you're wanting to understand how much of these food items to be eating and ways to put together simple, nutritious, and delicious meals with ease, and you're wanting confidence in your eating habits, and maybe you want to lose weight without starting another diet, feel less stressed and overwhelmed with healthy eating, you want to increase energy and feel and look your best, which I totally get, meal prepping can be for you, and this can be for you. So your bonus before we get to the questions, which I did see a couple come through, is I wanted to give you guys, so I have a self-paced course that is 4 weeks long, and this is a mini course to kickstart your healthy eating journey so you can break free from unhealthy habits and start seeing results for real this time. So no dieting, no meal counting calories, things like that. So I think you all deserve to feel your best, to wake up every day knowing exactly how to be eating, flexible eating strategies. And this course is designed to help take away that confusion and that stress for you. So you deserve to live a life free from feeling confused and stressed and overwhelmed. So if you're ready to feel that way and feel your best, then this is for you. It's also for you if you're tired of dieting, if you're overwhelmed, if you're defeated and stuck in your current nutrition ways, and you're not feeling or looking the way that you want to. And then lastly, this is for you if you're ready to see results that will stick. So you don't have to like constantly feel confused about what to do and second guess yourself. So what is it? What's included? There are 4 weeks of courses for you, recipes, food lists, worksheets, tons and tons of information. And this is one of my past clients, Lauren, who she would work out, for example, 5 to 6 times a week. And for years, I think for like 4 years, and never saw results. And this course taught her how to eat healthy and what to eat. And she lost 10 pounds. This is another one of my clients, Abby, who said, healthy eating is so simple and easy for me now. I'm not stressed and overwhelmed like I used to be. So the best part is that this course is valued at over $1,000, and I normally sell it for $200, but I'm offering it to attendees of this workshop for just $19. So I have only 10 spots available for this. I do limit it, and I have over 100 people signed up for this workshop for the replay. So I will say that. So if you are signed up for the, or if you're on this live, then you're getting first dibs essentially. So I'm going to put the link in here, in the code. This is for you if you want to feel and look your best. And again, I will take the questions that came through in a second. If you want to feel less stress about healthy eating, you want to gain clarity in what and how much to eat. And again, it's only 19 bucks, cheaper than like a lunch out, for example, using code meal prep. So only 10 of them, and we have 100 people signed up for the replay. These are people who did the course. After working with Allie, I feel like I'm at the point in my life where I'm the healthiest I've ever been. Allison helped demystify nutrition for me. I now have so much more confidence about how consistently put together nutrition meals and snacks for my family. Because cooking and healthy eating can be very confusing, and I get that. All right, I will take questions. One last thing about this, it's only available for 48 hours, or the sign up is only available. I do anticipate the 10 spots to be gone by the end of the day, though, I will say, because the replay of this will go out this afternoon. So if you're at all like questioning it, sign up now for that 19 bucks and you get forever access to all the materials. Okie doke, let's take some questions. I did see one come through, or 2 come through. Love how someone said dibs. It is lifetime access. Yep. So the 48 hours is just how long the code is active to sign up. But once you sign up, you get access. I do update it. There's recipes in there, video modules, things like that. So you do get lifetime access to it. Let's see here. I think someone asked, is the seasonality just in America? I believe so. I think you can only filter by state, unfortunately. But if you're wondering what is in season in your country, I'm not sure where you're located, then I would recommend looking that up online, depending on your climate and whatnot. It will give you a lot of information. All right, what other questions? What are some other complex carbs that you meal prep? So I mentioned meal prepping complex carbs and how I love to meal prep them because, like I said, I'm normal. I don't want to be necessarily taking 45 minutes to cook rice each night. And I even have an Instapot, which takes no time, but I will make quinoa, I'll make brown rice, I'll make farro. Potatoes are another great complex carb that you can meal prep ahead of time. So any of those, I will make it at the beginning of the week and meal prep it. And said, how long in general can I store food in the refrigerator? It depends on the food item. So typically like chicken or seafood or like meat like that is really just about like 5 days-ish. But I will say it depends on, the cut and kind of when you bought it. Veggies can last definitely longer depending on the veggie. Like carrots can last like weeks. Apples can last weeks versus like something like avocado would go a little more quickly. The biggest thing I can recommend is using your eyes, your smell, and your feel, like texture. So for example, if an avocado, while you can't like smell it, if you hold it, you can press in, that's when it's right. But if it's like extremely mushy, it's like definitely on its way out. For meat and things like that, smelling it, if you're doubting, how long it's been in there, I just recommend tossing it because I don't want any of you guys getting sick, but it can keep in the fridge for like 5 days. I'll essentially cook chicken for the week, for example. And then lastly, eyes, looking for like mold or anything like that in like yogurt or, whatever else you have in your fridge. Someone else asked, what are your thoughts on fruit? You can definitely eat fruit. Fruit has a place in your diet for sure. I, for example, love eating fruit as breakfast or snacks or as like a dessert. Fruit is a really incredible option. So you can eat fruit. My clients know that all foods can fit, including, like I said, ice cream or whatever your favorite foods are, dark chocolate, any sweets. All foods can fit no matter what your goals are. If you're trying to lose weight, I just had a client right before me message me saying that she's lost, how much weight did she lose? 30 pounds working with me so far. She was giving me an update, 30 pounds, and she's enjoying herself. She's eating pasta, she's eating ice cream. There are certain tactics, and the method that I teach my clients helps you to lose that weight without dieting. Any other questions? Oh. So someone asked, does food lose its benefits when I store it in the freezer? For example, can I prep my smoothie ingredients for 2 weeks ahead? It does not lose its nutritional value in the freezer. So you can definitely prep for 2 weeks ahead for your smoothies. Good question. Any others? Well, I will say, if you have any additional questions, here's my email address. If you're wondering, kind of a plan specific for you and tailored to you, that's when I recommend heading to my website and scheduling a discovery call with me. It's totally free. Lastly, I'll put the link in here again. Again, only 10 spots available for this. So this recording will be going out in a couple hours. So if you're interested, snag that. Does anyone else have any questions? All right, well, I will let everybody go. I wanted to thank everyone for, one more question. How would you meal prep 4 meals for 3 people? You would just look at the serving size on what the food item is. So what I would recommend is I would double the recipe to make it really simple, double the recipe to make 3 people 4 meals. And you can always freeze those things too. We didn't get into that today, but freezing meals is your best friend. All right, so thank you everybody. Any additional questions, email me. If you're looking to chat, schedule a call with me. I wanted to thank everyone for bettering their health just by coming today. Thank you all, and I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Thank you.